Hermitcraft Infinity. Welcome back. All right, we're going to get into some Thaumcraft research here. And, okay. Now, last time out, we got through a lot of stuff here in the Thaumaturgy tab. And I didn't get into the wand foci just yet. I did unlock the research for it and pick up the focus pouch. And, of course, there's the wands, and then there's the node stabilizer, advanced node stabilizer, and the harvesting these things with the node transducer and the V relay and so on. But what I want to do today is leave the foci for later and get right over here on the Alchemy tab. And there's a whole bunch of stuff here, most of which does not show just yet. And I want to get cranking on this. So we'll start right off. Research note for Nitor. And let's get one for Elementum while we're at it. Alright. There's the Nitor. And here is the research solution I come up with for it. Alright. Grab this. And right click. Have a look at it here. Nitor. Basically 3 each of Ignis, Lux, and Potentia with a piece of glowstone in the crucible will get you a bit of Nitor. Go ahead and make the crucible real quick. Fine. I like this thing that can also be used as a normal crafting table. You make a cauldron like so. And then you slap this thing down in the world. Right click it with any wand. And it becomes the crucible. And then of course, scan it. Research aspects. Alright, to use this, you need a flame down under it. Pop some netherrack down there, hit it with a lighter, and that will serve. I do believe you can also put a bucket of lava down there. Let's find out. Alright, bucket of lava. And then some water in it. And I do believe that should start to bubble. If it does, yes. Okay, so lava works as well. And once you make Nitor, you can remove the lava, the netherrack, and use Nitor down there instead and have the advantage of it providing the heat for the cauldron without having the risk involved with lava or burning netherrack of fire damage. Okay, getting on with it to the Elementum research. And here's a quick and easy solution for that one. Go ahead and right click that. And Elementum. It throbs with fiery energy, yada yada yada. Basically, it's unstable. With some Ignis, Perdito, and Potentia, and a piece of coal or charcoal, you get Elementum. And it's got a good burn time. It is useful in furnaces. It's worth a lot more than coal or coal coke and things like that. And also, if you toss it on the ground, it will explode. And it can be useful as an ingredient in some recipes and for powering certain Thaumcraft devices. Okay, next up, Essentia distillation. Okay. There's the research, and there's the solution I got for this one. Essentia distillation. Right click that, look it up in here, And this is a way to distill Essentia out of items. You end up coming up with this alchemical furnace, which is a crucible, a furnace, a bunch of arcane stone block, and 5 ignis and 5 aqua. And you also need the arcane alembic, which you get with these. You need these filters built like this, and then this arrangement here, the alchemical construct with some other Essentia things here, and so on. And I'll be going more into detail with this stuff later on. We also end up with warded jars and labels. This is a way to store these in liquid form, and you can put labels on it to lock a jar to a particular content, so on. Again, we'll get more to that. Now here we can unlock this one without actually having to research, as long as we got those aspects, the void jar. And that is a warded jar with some blaze powder, obsidian, a little bit of aspects here. And this one works differently in that once it's full, you can keep putting stuff into it and it will just be voided. That's fine for things that you get a lot of that you don't use very much. So it kind of helps storage management. Okay. Now, Essentia tubes. Here's another one we can purchase just by having enough of the right aspects. So click on that. This is ways to transport these through piping. It's kind of complicated and whatnot, but it can be useful. Okay, here's another one to unlock. Advanced Essentia tubes with filtered and directional Essentia. And restricted and so on. Again, several different kinds of piping. Okay, alchemical centrifuge is next. And there's the solution I found for this one. Go ahead and right click and have a look at this. Alchemical centrifuge. This is a way to take the slurry, the mess of Essentia that is broken down out of something, and sort them out into individual Essentia. Again, that's a really simplistic explanation. There's a lot more to it, and be getting to that later on. Right now we're focusing on just getting the research part of this stuff done. Alright, next up, Essentia crystallization. And there's the research. And here's a solution I came up with for this one. Alright. Essentia crystallization basically allows you, with this device, to crystallize Essentia from its liquid form into a crystal that is a whole lot easier to store and handle. And let's see, automated alchemy. Pop the research for that in here. And here's a solution for this one. It took a little while, but there you go. Alright. Automated alchemy. Research, click that. Now this is a construct that once complete will allow for a certain amount of automation of alchemy processes. Things that you would normally make in a crucible and so on. And definitely going to be looking into that in the future. Alright, over on this side, magical metallurgy. And there's a solution for that one. And this one gives us the ability to take iron with a little bit of precantatio, I'm never sure how to pronounce that, to get thaumium ingots, which can be used for making tools, weapons, armor, and is also an ingredient in other recipes. Alright, next up, magic tallow. And here's the solution for this one. Alright, magic tallow, right click it, look it up. Here it is. Alright, by using rotten flesh, and that's great that something actually gives you use to rotten flesh. So few things do. That and a little bit of this gets you magic tallow, which is useful for making candles, which can be made different colors by the addition of a dye. See, there's the procedure there for that. String, a couple of magic tallow, and a workbench. And also, the magic tallow is useful later on with the golems. Okay, alchemical duplication. Alright, let me get the aspects I need to right click to go ahead and grab that. Alright, so we just go ahead and click to purchase this research, and this allows basically to duplicate things. You take a gunpowder and get 2, or get 1 slime ball into 2, or 1 clay into 2, and 1 double up glowstone and double up on ink sacs. All kind of handy, really. Now, next up, here's another one flashing. I need to get a little bit of Fabrico in order to do this. So I just shift, click, and make some. And now click to get the research. And this is breaking things down, or to bringing them down into a baser version. Stone brick into cracked stone brick, bone into bone meal, and there is no doubt other aspects as well. Now over here, here's another one to click and get. And this is manufacturing things. For example, string into cobweb, cobble into mossy stone, snow into ice, etc. And next up, go into this one, liquid death. That sounds ominous, doesn't it? Note forbidden knowledge, although it's of a moderate nature, it's not super severe. And here's a solution for this one. Go ahead, right click that. And you'll notice in the lower right of the screen here, I have gained some warp. This is not necessarily a really horrible thing, as some of the effects can be interesting and so on, especially early on when there's not really a whole lot of anything severe going on. Anyway, we look at this. Liquid so incredibly toxic that nothing can keep it from dissolving flesh, bone, and even harder things. Nothing alive, or even looks like it's alive, can survive it. Now, the Essentia contained in any creature that is killed by this stuff will be formed into crystals that can be harvested. That part, very handy. And yes, this is a very hazardous substance, which is why you gain some warp from forgetting it. And here's another thing, more warp, forbidden knowledge minor. And here's a research note. And here's a solution for this one. Not too awfully involved. Bottled taint. Like that. Get a little bit more warp for this one. Cleaning taint is one thing, but ever consider spreading it? By concentrating and collecting the essence of taint into a bottle, it's simply a matter of dropping it somewhere to create a patch of taint. It's up to you to decide why you would want to do this. Yeah, bottled taint. Not exactly environmentally friendly. Alright. But You never know when there might be reason to do it. Okay, that's it for this tab for right now. There is these things, but I'll come back to cover them at a later time. Now, go over here and get one item here on the Artificing tab, the Goggles of Revealing. This is one of the handiest things that you're going to want to have. And there's a solution I found for it. Right-click that and have a look at it here. And this shows you the procedure for making the Goggles of Revealing. Now this is, the Goggles of Revealing is kind of like the thermometer, except you don't have to have this thing in front of you. So, let's see here. In order to make it, you need some leather, some gold, 2 thermometers, which you make that this way, and then a wand that has 5 each of all of these aspects in it. Now, let's see, my wand here, I never did get anything into it. It is, you can see in the upper left corner, that little widget there that shows the level of how much of each of the 6 primary aspects are in the wand, and there isn't any. So it's going to be time to find some aspects, and I'm just going to set myself into game mode so that I can fly, and we'll go looking around to find some nodes. We need the thermometer to see them right at the moment. Alright, now I know there's a node right here. Right in this thing. And you can see, without the thermometer, you can just barely see there's something right there where the cursor is. Now, you can see it. So it's an aura node. The first thing you do with an aura node, scan that baby. Look at that. And now, point your wand at it, right click, and the stuff that's in the node will start filling your wand. Okay, now I've inadvertently drained the Ignis and Perdito aspect, and there's only 1 aqua left in it. So that's something you want to try to avoid doing, is draining a node all the way. Now I'm going to look around and find a few more of these nodes and get this wand charged up, and then we'll continue with making the Goggles of Reveal. Alright, got the wand all charged up, and you can see in the upper left the little widget is showing that all 6 kinds of V are loaded in the wand to its maximum capacity. Now, if you go into your inventory and you mouse over the wand, you see what its capacity is 25, and how much of each different kind of V it has. You'll also note there is a note there that stuff done with this wand is going to cost you 110% of the average Vs required for various operations. There are ways to reduce how much V you need for something, and included in that is better wands and certain armor items, and I think there's a bauble or 2 that does that, and so on. And we'll get to those very soon. In the meantime, we look in here, and to make the Goggles of Revealing, we need a couple of thermometers. And so that's those. And then they go in here with some leather and gold. You see these things flashing. This is what the wand needs to have. It needs to have 5V from each of these things and 3 from that one. 3 from this one. And I'm going to be glad to get rid of that lava and the fire. So we take the wand, pop it in here. These things stop flashing when the wand up there has enough to do it, and you see the goggles that you can get there. The first thing you notice is that using the goggles gives you a 5% discount on the V used. There's a protection 1 on it and durability of 350. Pop that out here, and that goes here. Now, well, let's see. Let's fly back over to that node without using the thermometer. And you notice right away that you can see the node right off the get-go here. And you put your cursor over it, it shows you how much of what is left in it, and so on. And that makes it a lot easier to do things. There's a number of things that you can see by wearing the goggles, nodes being one of the big ones, that you cannot see without them. Alright, there's been a lot in this episode, and I did a big push like this to get done with the part of this where I was playing catch up with what I've done on the actual Hermitcraft Infinity server. Next time, we're doing stuff live on the server, well, live and in person, sort of, kind of, and no more of this creative stuff. We're getting back to doing things the way it needs to be done, the way it should have been done had I had the sense to actually do this stuff and start recording this before I did a bunch of stuff on the server. Anyway, that's that. We're going to get going with a bunch of things. I want to get a bunch of this stuff done coming up soon, and as soon as possible I want to unlock this stuff here in the Golemancy tab, because there is a lot of cool stuff in here, a lot of cool stuff you can do with the golems, and we'll get to that next time. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.